Hi everyone. This is Tuesday and I think it's about 9:30 in the evening. I'm not quite sure, but it's somewhere around that time, I think. And I did get a new casting compound in today, and I have poured a couple pieces already. I also worked on polymer clay today, which I have not touched in a long time, and I will show you some of the pieces. They're not done, but they're baked. They're just not buffed or sanded or put together yet. And this is what I got. It's called Perfect Plaster, quick drying. It says pottery and ceramics, which we'll test that theory out. It mixes very easy. It's a 2-to-1, and I use these. I use these little cups, and I use 2 of these in the powder and 1 of those for the water. I have tried mica powders. I have tried resin pigment. And I tried my other stuff. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of coloring powder. Well, let me just get it so you know what it's called. This is Ken Oliver Color Burst Concentrated Watercolor Powder. Yeah, I tried that in the first pieces I'm going to show you. Now, I think they're really fragile, and I don't know how the durability is going to be. I don't want them to break. I'm going to be dry brushing them and finishing them off, and then I'm going to put a real thick piece of cork up underneath there just to give it some more added protection. But that's the first piece that I did with it. It did get hard. It firmed right up. You didn't have the water standing on top of it like the last one. Now this one still, I've done absolutely nothing to it yet. This is the way that it came out of the mold, and it still feels cold. You can tell there's still water in there. It still needs to dry. It says that it cures within 24 hours. Total cure. It did set up. Now it says set up in 30 minutes. I was a little leery about doing it in 30 minutes. Now with J Diction, I would. It is said it's ready to go in 30 minutes. This one didn't look quite ready to go, so I gave it about 50 minutes, and then I took them out of the mold. Oh, I'm yawning again, guys. I'm so sorry. That's not a real thick mold. That's gonna have to, unless this is just super duper hard as a stone, I don't think this is gonna work. I don't even think it would work. Well, it didn't work with the resin crate either. They just snapped in half. So I am going to try to put as many layers up underneath this to give it some more strength. But the detail in this mold is just incredible. It's incredible. This is a fantastic mold. And I'm going to try it with polymer. It's going to take a little bit more work to do it with polymer. I'm going to have to soften that clay up to the point of almost mushiness, which you can do, but it takes quite a while. And try to see, because if I can get this done in polymer clay, I know that it's, it's durable. A lot of people don't like polymer clay, but I have to say that's the most durable clay I've ever used. I've got earrings I could tear, I could twist, they're just not going to come apart. But yeah, that's the first piece, and I did 2 of them. There's the other one. And that's the color they came out with, that color burst from, I don't even know if they make this, okay? I bought this off of Zulily, which I haven't been on Zulily for ever since I started buying from Temu. I've not bought a thing from anybody else. Ken Oliver. And I don't even know if they make this anymore. But that's the color. Now this looks white in the package, so I still haven't did a true color one, so I don't know what it would be if you just used nothing. This is one of the square trays that I showed you in my haul video yesterday. I have not taken this out of the mold, so I thought I would show y'all. I hope it works. Oh my gosh, I'm ready to have a video where it's not a total fail. So what I did with those is I took the mold off like this. I did not that's the way that I took the mold off. And I put mica powder on this, and I don't know if it's going to work or not. I know nothing about this casting medium. Oh, it didn't look like, oh, I forgot. Yes, I did the water drop technique on it. Oh, it looks like I didn't lose any of my water drops. But it don't look, that's what it don't look. Boy, that's not really good English, is it? Oh, my mother would cringe if she heard me say that. It does not look like the mica. Maybe it did. Maybe, let's see. Oh, okay. I like that. I'm happy with that. Oh, yes. I am so happy with that. Can you see it? Yeah. Okay. I'm happy with this one. What those marks right there are. Oh, I know what that is. You see the little lines? Can you see the little lines right there? That was a string of resin where I thought I got it off with alcohol. Evidently I did not. But that's what that is. I'm still happy with this. Okay. That was a win. Finally. Yay. Okay. Now I do have to tell you that the cleanup on this, it's not hard, okay? But I don't know if any of y'all have ever worked with Plaster or Paris, but you know how it has that chalky residue that gets everywhere and you have to wipe it like 3 or 4 times before you finally get the chalky residue off? Well, that's what this is. That's what this looks like. Now, oh, this is gonna be satisfying right here. See, I like the sound of that. Let me lay this down so I don't get stuff all over the place. One good thing about the silicone mat is nothing moves from it unless you want it to. Can you see that? It just sort of crumbles off of there. I mean, it's not hard to, it just breaks off when it dries. And then you just throw it away and then take a wet paper towel and wipe the inside out. I've done it 3 or 4 times, so. And I'm not gonna do that right now, but I gotta get But that's the only thing to clean up the chalkiness. J. Diction does not have the chalkiness cleanup. Okay, and here's one where I just put mica powder. I see the chalky is all over my fingers and I can feel it. I just put pearl mica powder. This has also got the water technique. And that is so easy, guys. If you don't know how to do it, there's videos all over the place, but it's very simple. You don't even really need to watch a video to do this. You will see. Now this is the difference between how everybody does it, okay? And there's not a right or wrong way. I just don't think there is. It's just personal preference. This is the resin. Yes, I'm holding it because it's a sticky bottle. And I'm going to say, I pour my resin in one of these. That's just a used one. But I poured my resin into one of those. And then I use this tool right here. And I would dip it in. You can't see that. Okay, I would dip it in. And then I would hold it up about like this. Probably about half an inch to 3/4 of an inch away from it and let it drip. And then sometimes I would put it in and get a big old blob and twist it around and put it a little bit closer to get bigger ones. And then I would get less and then I just use this little pointy thing. It's just straight point. Rubber tip is what I use. Because when I do it out of my bottle, it comes out too big. I want to be able to dictate what size I put on there. I don't want the bottle telling me how big it's going to be. I want to be able to control it. So that's why I put it in one of these. You'll see some people, you know, do it straight from the bottle. It's just your preference. This is easier for me right here. And that's all you do. You just put it wherever you want it. And you can form those drops. You know, in a couple of pendants I made with polymer clay, I did that. No, it was UV resin I did that with. And I formed some into hearts. I formed some into teardrops. I did some that were elongated. Now these that I did tonight, I just did the round drops. And they're not perfectly round. They're just, you know, they're just drops. So that's just whatever you can imagine, that's what you can do with that. And once you have it on there, and I did use my little torch as I was doing it, just to keep it from, you know, spreading out. But you could still do it without the little torch. If you got thick resin, I mean, it doesn't spread out to the point where it just thins out and there's nothing. That's not how resin acts on the silicone. And then just cure it. You have to cure it really well. And then you take mica powder and you put mica powder all over it, and then you use casting compound. You can use resin. It works with UV resin. I can't say about epoxy resin, but I've seen people do it on YouTube. But it's just a cool effect. It really is. Oh, and if you've not seen the effect, I've done this for a long time, but it's big now on YouTube, where and I don't blow my bubbles with the straw, because I know me, and I'd end up sucking up I'd have a whole mouthful of dish soap in my mouth. I'm not even going to go there and take that chance. I get a bowl and I use Dawn, and I put the dish soap in there. You don't have to use Dawn. You can use any kind of dish soap that you have. And I just put my finger in there, and actually all my fingers, and I just go like this in the bowl. And if I want bigger, I do it harder, and if I don't want real big ones, then I don't do it as hard. And you put that right on UV resin. You put the UV resin into whatever you're wanting to do with it. And then you put the suds right on before you cure it. You put it right on that runny resin, and then you cure it. Oh, and the effect that you get, it's awesome looking. It's really cool. And of course you put mica powder or whatever you want on there. I put gold leaf on there too, and that's really cool too. That's another fun thing to do, and it's so simple. That is just so simple. Okay, I'm gonna put that back, and we're gonna demold this. And I hope this one turns out because I really liked that one. Now, this one's got a little bit more air bubbles than the J Diction did, and you know, I don't like their customer service, but doesn't mean that I don't like their product. And so far, their product is better than anything I've used so far. This is doable, but it's not as good. The chalkiness is, and I don't know about the durability, okay, but it does firm up just like resin-crete, but it does have more bubbles, and the finish is not like, it's not silky smooth like resin-crete is either. But this is 100% better than the Permastone. Okay, and this is still wet. I can feel the water. Oh, I like that too. Can you see that? I didn't lose one. Not one little bubble did I lose. Or water drop, I guess is what you call it. Oh, I like the pearl. I bet that shine doesn't come through on this, but oh, see? Two things I'm really happy with. I am truly happy with these. Look at that, guys. That's just as flat. It looks like they would be bumpy. It's like, and they just shine. They just shimmer. Can you see that? Can you see the reflection? Oh, I wish y'all could see that, because that is just so cool. Okay, well, this is a win in my book. I don't know about the durability yet, but so far, it most definitely is a win. And I'm happy with these. Okay, I'm gonna set that over there, and I'll get back to y'all and let you know about the durability. Of course, I'm not gonna try to break these. I wanna keep them if I can, but if, you know, if for some reason by just, you know, normal use and they break, then I'll know, and I will let you know. And this was the extra, and I had this right here, so I just used it. But little, see, I've got a tray of them that I'm keeping, and I'll just keep these because I could use these for little accents and stuff. Look at that little tiny bitty one. Look how tiny that thing is. That's sort of cool though. Okay. Now I'm gonna try to get this out of the way because I'm gonna bring some polymer clay over here that I've been working on, but I don't want this stuff. I don't want this stuff on here. I'm sorry, guys. Just bear with me. Because it's got such a chalky residue. I don't want that getting in my polymer clay. Especially before I get to seal them and finish them off out of baby wipes. So I'm using alcohol right now until I can get to the store to get me some more baby wipes. I'm telling you, I told y'all I needed to buy stock in baby wipes. I use so many of them. I do have those wipes from Temu, and I use those every once in a while, but I guess I need to get a big old spray bottle. And put some kind of cleaner in that I can just use regular paper towels or just a regular towel. that would be the best thing, regular tile. So you're not throwing away all this paper stuff. Okay, this is what I did today. This is my polymer clay tray. None of it is finished. It all has to be sanded and buffed. Some of it will be resined. I've got beads that's going to go with certain things. So all this should look a whole lot better than what it does right now, but I'm just going to show you. This is a collar necklace that I'm working on. I don't know if you can see that. But that is gonna be, see, it would go, it's gonna go sort of like that, if that tells you anything, okay? Right on the neckline, which I may keep this because I really like this. And it's not heavy, and it's just a statement piece. Can you see that? Okay. And then I made my own beads. And so I don't follow guidelines, or I don't follow the rules, or I don't, you know, people say, well, this is what beads are. Well, beads are anything you want them to be in my book. When you create, you're the creator, and by George, you can do whatever makes you feel good and what you want. And I hope all of you have the ability to do that and not worry about what everybody else thinks when it comes to your art. Now, you should be courteous, and you should always be courteous to people. That's not what I'm saying, but you need to do you. You know, don't do somebody else. Do you. Always do you. I've always done me. And yes, it's gotten me in trouble sometimes, but it never stopped me from me doing me. Okay. So I was talking about beads, and I love making beads, but I don't make beads like everybody else makes them. I make big old chunky unusual beads. I make things that I like, and sometimes other people like them too, which makes me happy. And I'm looking for all my beads. I got a bunch of beads. Okay. I got a bunch of different beads. Okay, so here we have the necklace. And then I made these beads that are going to go beside of it. Can you see those? And I made tile ones. And these are going to be accented. You see that? That's going to be accented with a little bit of gold, and that's going to be gold foil. I'm going to put a little bit of the gold foil glue, and I'm going to do a little bit of gold foiling just on that tip right there that sticks out. And they're chunky. And I've got two of those. And then I've got two a little bit shorter, but they're still chunky. And they're going next on each side. And then I've got two more that are smaller and shorter than those that will be the last bead to put on there. And I will put spacers in between each one of these, but these are my beads. And they're unique, and I know no one else is going to have a necklace that looks like this, because nobody makes beads like this. They're just my thing. And I've got bead makers. I've got every bead maker that they ever marketed out there. When I first started polymer clay a few years ago, I started clay when I was 14. I used Sculpey to do miniatures for doll houses when I was 14 years old. So it's been more than a few years. But I started making jewelry, I guess I should say, a few years ago. I don't know how I got into it, because I've never been a big jewelry person. Never have. It was during COVID. Oh, am I supposed to say that on YouTube? It was during that time period, and we were inside a lot, and that's when I started. And but it opened up another a line of creativity for me. You know, I've always done something. I'm always doing some sort of craft. I've always gone to craft shows. I've given craft shows. You know, it's just been a part of my life. And so here's a bangle. I can't get it on. My daughter can put it on, but I can't even begin to put this on. My knuckles are just too big. Hey, Ashley, you want to come put this on for me? You want to be my model? This is my daughter's hand, guys. There you go. See? It looks really pretty on. She's got pretty hands too, doesn't she? Look at that. Okay. I can't take it out. Thank you. And then this one too. Now this one's real bumpy, and I'm going to have to do a lot of smoothing and sanding on that. But and the inside, these are wood. Okay, these are wooden bangles. And Deb over at Clay Boutique, she's got a fantastic channel, and y'all really, if you like polymer clay, you really need to be watching her, because she is really, really good at what she does, and she has her own style. And she does a lot of stone type work, and buddy, she can make things out of polymer clay, and you would swear that was true stone. She's that good. And this is why I got these. She was doing a tutorial, and she was showing these. And I thought, oh, wood. Well, you don't have to line it, because you don't line it. You either stain it or you just finish it. I'm not going to put a paint on it because I don't want it rubbing off on somebody, but I may put a light stain or something on it. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to yet. But that's where I saw this. Let's get something on it already. That's where I saw these bangles, and I went straight to her Amazon. I can't talk. Amazon store from her web link and bought these, and I've got her Amazon link bookmarked. I go there so much because I watch her tutorials, because I just enjoy it. She's got some gorgeous stuff. She really does. And so if you're into polymer clay, you really need to check her out if you haven't already. I mean, she's, you know, most people who do polymer clay already know who she is. She also has a Facebook group, and it's also called Clay Boutique, and it's a really, really nice group. The people there really support each other, and they motivate each other, and it's just a great group of people over there. So if you're looking for another polymer clay group, check them out, because it's a really, I'm a member there. I have been for a few years. But these are my two bangles. I got those almost done. I probably have about another hour's worth of work in these. And I showed you the necklace and my crazy beads. So these are the pendants. And you have to, I'm going to tell you, all this came from the same slab. And it wasn't a slab, as per se most people think of slabs. I did that technique, and I'm not going to be able to say it. I can't ever say it. No, it starts with an M. It's that Japanese technique that I was talking about in one of my other videos, where you layer colors and then you put a design down. I used two cutters, just regular cutters. They weren't the ones that you use to impress with, but it worked. It was a flower cutter and it was a leaf cutter, and whatever design you put in it, you take your tissue blade and very thinly slice it, and I don't know if you can see that was the flower, that was part of the flower, that was part of the leaf. That one doesn't really have much on there, but yeah, okay, that's the leaf. And this is a pendant I'm doing, but that was part of the flower. So I'll show you, but it was all from the same. Every piece that I have that I'm going to show you came from that mound of clay. It started with this, and I put the slices on black. When I did the thin shavings of it, I put it on the black background, so it looked like that. But this, I put it on a white background, okay? And see, that's my back. I always finish my backs. And I do it at 2 separate times. I will bake my front first, and then, so I can work with it, I put my back on, and that's how I can get such a good texture. You know, these, and kudos to them. I don't know how they do it, but I cannot keep a good texture when I'm trying to work as one piece, because if I get the texture good, then I can't work on the front, and if I'm working on the front, I mess up my texture. So I've always just done it separately, and it works well for me. And then I'll sand all this down, and then so where it's not two-tone, I'll go in it and I'll use either a black acrylic paint marker, or if I decide that I want to do it silver or go, you know, I don't know yet, but I'll always finish the sides too. So that's a pendant I did. This is another pendant I did. It's got the same kind of back. This is another pendant. Same back. This is another pendant. I did not put a hole because I'm going to use one of those really pretty bezel, is that what they're called? You know, oh crap, well, it didn't break it. It just went through. Did it scratch it? Yeah, it chipped it. Oh my polymer clay pendant chipped this. Oh, that's not cool. Well, not to the point. Can you see? It just, this look, that right there. I can sand that down though. And they're not dry, so. Well, and this is rock hard, okay? My polymer clay pieces, you know, they're not thin. None of my pendants. I don't like my pendants thin. But see, I got that chalky residue. That's what I'm talking about. I don't like that chalky residue. But I'm using one of those, what are these things? They're called bezels, right? This is what happens when you get old, y'all. You forget. You forget what crap is. No, it's not crap either. One of those things, yeah. I'm going to use that on this, and that's the reason why I did not put a hole in prior to. These I'm going to use cording and a couple of cat paw knots, I believe is what they're called. But that also has the, can you see that? It's like a wood grain. I like that. Okay, and then this is another pendant that I did. Same slab. Now, of course, I did take it when I use it, and I twist it, and then I play around with it, and then I cut it in half. And you get different effects, but it's the same slab, same mound of clay. It's not a slab. And that's going to be a pendant, and that's domed. And that's the back. And then these earrings, these are going to be earrings for that. Just simple little round, but they match. And I sort of like that. So it's going to go with that. And then I made this. That's going to be a small little, my daughter has convinced me to make smaller pendants because I always felt like pendants had to be huge. So this is going to be a small little pendant. And as tiny as it is, I did not put a separate back. I'll sand that down and make it, but it's not going to be, because it's just too small. And then I'm going to make a pair of earrings out of those 2 beads that I made. And they match this. And then, oh, I got beads for these pendants. Okay, for all these pendants. I made beads. I've got big beads. I've got small beads. I got so many beads. Here's my beads. They're all different. They're all different sizes. And then I've also got the beads for the gray. Oh, for this one. I don't really like this one, but you know, it is, and somebody else might like it. So I got beads that match that too. And then I don't really like these. And they may end up in my box where I don't do anything with them. Oh, yes, I do have a box. That's got stuff that I made that I didn't like almost 3 years ago. And it's still sitting in that box. But I try to finish off. If I use a thing of clay, I try to finish it totally off before I put it down. And so I make all these little earrings and stuff that beads I always use, because you can take 2 little beads and make a pair of earrings, really. And I just love stuff like that. You see the colors of that? I mean, you know, that's a 1 of a type bead. There's no way. I couldn't even reproduce that. I could come close, but I could not reproduce that. And that's what I love about this 1 of a kind piece. And I don't like these, and I know I won't do anything. They remind me of neckties. I guess that's the reason why I don't like them. Because they do. They remind me of neckties. That goes with that, though. And I'm sorting them out. I'm sorry. This is good. Nope. More earrings. Okay, I'm going to put all this stuff back because that's all my beads. And I showed you all this, so there's no reason to see this again, so I'll put that up. These are the things that I'm saying I don't like. They remind me of neckties. I don't know. I may put a little bead, and they can be worn. You know, they're like reversible. Excuse me. They remind me of neckties. I don't know. I don't really like them. I like the color. I mean, I like that looks sort of Cosmo-y. I don't really like that one. But, you know, somebody might. That's just not me. But I don't know. I may not do anything with these. But I didn't want to have clay left over, and that cutter was right there, so I just picked it up and used it. And then I don't really like these either. I mean, they're okay, I guess. But no, they're not my favorite. Oh, those go with those earrings. Okay. These right here for little studs. These I like. And they're going to go, I think I made them for that pendant. Yeah. And I have to get the right size. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Nothing fancy. Just, you know, these right here should have been thrown away. This is what was in between cut out. And I saw that and I rounded off the tip and I thought, oh, this would be cute. You just put like one of those little hooks in the top. They could be tiny little dangles. Can you see them? I like the colors. So I'm going to make those into little dangles with fish hooks. And then this is going to be a pair of earrings like this. This to me are cookie cutter, you know. You see stuff like this all the time. But I like the design on here. And there's gold foil throughout all this, and you probably can't see it on here, but it's sort of cool. It's sort of like veiny through it. So that's a pair. These I really like. And these are just really I like these. Can you see those? I like that. I like the way that turned out. These are pretty thick for earrings. And then I have some of these. These are okay. You know, they're just okay. Somebody else will like them. They're just not my thing. And I've got just a little button, you know, these little button things to put on the top. And then I made these. I like the color in this. I like the way that turned out. And I like the fact that when they dangle, the back looks just as nice as the front. And then I made this a bigger hole. Because I'm going to put a little bitty tiny crystal hanging down in that hole. That's the reason why I did that. But I like the wave pattern in this. And the back. I like the fact that the back looks good enough to be seen without having to do, and that's the other one that goes with it. And then I have a whole bunch of just itsy bitty that I'll just put a back on, and they can be studs. Because some people like studs. Some people want studs. So it's always good if you do this to sell. It's always good to have studs. I learned that the first show I did, everybody was asking for studs, and I thought, I don't think I had one pair of studs, because that's just not something that I'm really into. But that's those. And all this came from, and all this was three 2-ounce bars of color that I used for everything. That's a lot of stuff in that right there. And that is what I have done today. And this is still really wet feeling. I hate that I did that because I really, really like this. I can still fix it. But that tells you how soft it is. If a polymer clay earring can dent it, I'm going to question the durability of this until it dries. And this does have more roughness. It's not as silky smooth as the other. And I've got another one coming tomorrow, another type. It's got really good reviews, and I've seen a couple people. I looked it up on YouTube today, and there's been a couple people use it, and it's one of the most expensive ones too. I think that's probably going to be the closest thing to the resin crate. I think it's probably very similar to the resin crate. And that's coming. But there was somebody on YouTube that did a YouTube video on it, because I actually found they had a coupon attached to, and I don't remember who it was. Oh, it was their website, and it's called T. Yes, see, I'm yawning again. It was called T Expert. I think that's called, yeah, that's what it's called, T Expert. And I went to their website because a video popped up on YouTube for when I put in the plaster compound. That came up and I watched it, and it was the actual company. And they had a 20% off coupon, and plus an additional $5. And so I ended up, I got $17 off of it. So it was $29.99 for the starter kit, okay? And let me tell you, with the starter kit, you get a bag, and I'll do a video when it comes in, but you get the bag of the powder, then you get mixing cups, and then you get a tray mold and a coaster mold, and you get pigment coloring in it, and you get stir sticks, and so it's like a beginner's kit. So for $12 to try something out, that's a good deal. Now, they don't have, I haven't been able to find where you could buy just the powder without buying the kit. And surely they're going to have to do that, because, I mean, you know, what if you want to recreate? You don't need to keep buying the same thing over and over again. But, you know, as long as they continue giving you $17 off and you can get it for $12, then, I guess you go ahead and get 2 free molds, because they're including the mold. So for $12 and 2 molds, you can't really beat that. I'm sure they won't have it. I think they're a fairly new company, because the first video they put on YouTube was only 4 weeks ago. So I'm going to assume that they're a fairly new company. And I've got my pouring clothes on. It's stuff that I don't wear anywhere except to do the pouring, because that stuff gets all over. I've ruined so many good clothes by doing that, not realizing that it gets all over me, and then it just won't ever come out. So excuse my appearance, but it's late. And you're not supposed to be here looking at me anyway. You're supposed to be paying attention to the other stuff. I'm going to say goodbye now, and I'm going to thank y'all for coming and watching my videos. If you liked this, please hit the like button. And if you have not subscribed yet and you think this is something that you would enjoy watching, please hit the subscribe button. It actually is my little drawing of the cat in the corner, the bottom corner of the video. That's just me. I chose to do that instead of just the normal subscribe button. Me, myself, I'd see that on somebody's video, and I would be curious why there was a cat floating down at the bottom of the video. So I would have immediately gone to it, and as soon as you put your mouse on it, it pops up as subscribe. So that's just who I am. So if you want to subscribe, then find the little cat on the video, and that way you can do that. Y'all have a fantastic rest of the day. I think it's almost over with though. So have a good day tomorrow. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.